Oh, we're back again for another podcast. Ain't that crazy? Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining for another week for another podcast. This has been a stressful one to organize. Good lord. All right, let's get things ready here. Look at that, overlays and everything. You love to see it. All right, okay. Welcome everyone to the Top 100 podcast. We're going to be talking about the recent Top 100 intros video that was released to the subreddit a little while ago. And before we get into that discussion, of course, we have to introduce the guests. So, now that I've unmuted in Discord, I can now say hello to the guests. So, from last time we have Brodator back.
Hey.
We also have Wacko Flipper back.
Sorry.
Glad you got out of the way. We also have, as our guest for this episode, we have Codwhy.
Hello.
We have Chibi.
Hi.
And we have Ninja.
Equally sorry.
You don't all have to apologize.
Sorry.
Alright,
I'm not sorry. I'm sorry we have to deal with Wacko Flipper.
No one wants to do it, but sometimes it just happens. Alright, anyway. We're gathered here to talk about the Top 100. So... yeah. Go on. Fucking say shit.
Oh.
An introduction.
Okay, yeah, introduction. Well, let's, before we get into specifics of things that happened, how did y'all feel about the Top 100 this year?
I'll probably go first since I made the top 100.
Yeah, you
Please
go
do.
first.
Please do.
I don't have any special opinion on the list itself since I kind of made it. I mean, I'm happy with the list. I think I heard a lot of people say that the list overall was better than previous years. But I don't think that has a meaning or anything that much. I think it's just there's more people that agrees with the intros this year, I guess.
I think that like every single intro on it was good. Like it was like at least good. Like I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
But obviously some are better. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly think that it's filled with a lot of 2021 intros and a lot of old intros, which usually makes sense for a top 100. Usually most years have like a big group, which is the modern intros. And I think it especially shows this year because we've had a lot of like new people join the community from non-Reddit into the Reddit community, and they only really know the modern intros. So of course it's going to be standing out more than most years with modern intros.
Actually, there was more old intros this year than new intros, and last year there was way more new intros than old intros. Actually,
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel like the higher intros on the list are newer intros.
it definitely feels like the higher intros are more covered with new intros.
I think that's what I mean. Like,
Well, that's just the classic old case of recency bias that happens year on year on year.
and we'll probably get to that later.
Yeah.
About
And it's not. It's not even like necessarily just kind of labeling like, oh, this intro came out a month ago, so it's mega boosted. It's just anything that is recent memory does, at the very least, a little higher than it otherwise would. So it's just a thing that I think happens every time.
Yeah, I think that's just said for itself because everyone's gonna remember the stuff that was recent more than the older stuff.
Yeah, which is unfortunate with this kind of format, but what can you do?
But the old stuff that like do shine always plays well and always get on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the intros that are forgotten the most are the 2019, 2020, like the past 2 year bangers that people don't ever really remember after the year they came out. I think I missed a lot of that.
Yeah, it's just
It's also those type of intros get overshadowed by other intros from that same intro makers.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just,
Like-
it's a top 100 intros like this doesn't tend to function quite as straightforward as you think. there's a lot of other weird factors that influence how people vote and how people contribute to it. That is
I mean,
odd.
yeah. I mean, people don't make their list based on what is the actual 30 best intros on their opinion. It's really more like what they like at that moment when they do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of people doing like, oh, I voted already for that round or that specific intro maker, so I'm gonna vote for something else, even though maybe I would have put 2 or 3 of their intros in there.
I think
So yeah, it's not accurate.
one showcase of like, I feel like one thing that happens a lot is people want to vote for like one intro per round or per like intro maker, and I feel like that really shows with the Phobia this year, because a lot of people voted
Glad
for
someone said, not me.
Phobia 18, but I feel like Phobia 13 and Phobia 17 were really low when they should have been higher, because people just wanted to vote for 18, but it got overshadowed. It overshadowed 17 and 13, which I both think are really good intros as well.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Go ahead.
I was just
Marco.
about to say it's because brick intros are quite similar looking.
I think he makes them rarely enough that it's like every time it's kind of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, there's like only 3
might
of
be,
them
like,
like
part of it.
recently.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think in like collections, it kind of does show when like one person is like in the top 10 or 20 multiple times, it kind of gets repetitive.
Yes, people kind of have their internal biases where they're like they don't like seeing it, so they won't vote for something that will cause it. So it just kind of affects votes. We're kind of jumping all over the place here, so we're gonna go back to our little talking guide. So let's start off talking about the tippity top. What do you guys think of the top 10 for this year? For just in case for people who are watching who somehow didn't watch the top 100 intros but are yet here listening to the results right now. First of all, weird. Second of all, here's we'll do a quick run through from 10 to 1. So 10th place we had AP10, which is, you know, I think a classic intro for the top 10.
Yeah.
We had Chroma 3 in 9th. Another one that's just been lingering around the top 10 for ages. 8th was Cinema 6, held over from last year. 7th was Fission 11, which had a huge jump from last year. 6th, new intro, Campaign Season 6. 5th, new intro, Phobia Season 18. 4th, Out of Orbit Season 8, which was 2nd last year. 3rd place, All Stars 5, which was 1st last year. 2nd place, new intro, Geology 10. And 1st place, new intro, Addiction Season 15.
Good job, Chibi.
Very
Thank
good job,
you.
Chibi.
Thank you.
So yeah, thoughts on the top 10.
I don't know. I was gonna say that it feels like this more recent intro, but it was kind of the same thing with last year. Because it was like all the Venom intros, and I think there was some Paradox intros and agencies. So actually, there's maybe more old. I don't even know the top 10 of last year, but I think it's fine. I think there's definitely like number 1 and 2 and 6 are definitely more affected by the recency bias, but I don't think that's a problem. I think that makes the list unique to this year, which is probably better like that.
I really like the number 2 one. I think that one's so good. Like the effects on it are really impressive.
Yeah, Geology 10, that's the 2nd place one. That was a really good intro. I do think that one and Campaign 6 are really high for the reason they're recency bias. But they're both solid intros, and I definitely wouldn't complain that I'm seeing them in the top 10 at all. I definitely can't complain.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd
Addiction
say the
too,
same
to
thing
be
for
honest.
Addiction, even if it's like good.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Addiction, yeah.
I still had like over like 100 points over 2nd place.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's the recency bias stuff you could easily manifest most in just raw placement, but I think the Addiction one is definitely benefits a lot from the recency bias, not in terms of its placement. I think it being number 1 makes a hell of a lot of sense. It's just over 100 points more than 2nd. I don't know about that.
Well, that was the same thing with All Stars 5 last year. All Stars 5 got like even a bigger gap between 2nd place last year.
Which I'll be honest, I think that makes a lot of sense for the intro itself.
Yeah.
It's like I in my head, it's kind of a vague concept, but in my head I can kind of grasp the All Stars one being like that. But the Addiction
What's
one,
a
I
lot
feel
of
like
hype around it.
yeah, but the Addiction one, I feel like it is an incredibly good intro. It's just I don't think 100 better than the second kind of intro, especially considering the second is also so good.
Yeah. I think the top 3 is a really good top 3 in general. I think they all deserve it. I don't know if all 3 of them will be in the top 3 next year. I feel like there'll be 2022 intros that will be up there instead, but I still think could be definitely like top 10, maybe top 20 every single year going on.
Yeah, they seem like pretty regular high charting ones.
Like, it's kind of like AP10. AP10's always been very, very high. I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
seen it like low, because everyone just loves that intro, like old and new. It's just a really good intro, and I feel like those intros stand out kind of like AP10.
That one was like a really big inspiration for me, for making intros.
Hell yeah, yeah. It's a very early intro, but it's like it holds up very well, and a lot can be learned from it. And
Yeah,
I
the
think a
kind
lot
of
of people try
intros
to do it
like
again.
you watch every year, and like sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, but it always stays around the same position.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Same with that one, and also I think Remarkable also has been like that.
Oh yeah, Remarkable also sticks up
Yeah.
very high,
It
despite how,
didn't move at all from
Yeah.
last year. Same position.
which is crazy in itself.
Was
Yeah,
that,
Remarkable has stayed.
was that new casino intro eligible for this? Did that
Season
place at all?
4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I'm surprised that didn't make the top 10. I thought that was like one of the standouts of the year.
I mean, the animations are great, but I feel the rest is simple. So I think that's what made it only like top 40.
It got 40?
Yeah, something around like that.
Yeah,
Let me open
it did
Yeah,
get
exactly
40.
40.
It's 40.
Oh, I actually got exactly 40? Okay, that's good.
Oh, wow.
There's
Yeah,
so many good intros. It's kind of hard, but I don't know if it got affected by recency bias or because that one was also very recent. So I felt like it would have done well because of that, and only got number 40.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. For me, for the top 10, I think it's good. I think the Vision 11 kind of surprises me. That's just because of the crazy jump that it did from last year. Last year it was 49th, and now it's 7th.
That's insane.
It's
It-
yeah.
it doesn't-
It's usually usually you have like 99% of movements across years is either like dead same, slightly down, massively down, or slightly up. The massively up is like incredibly rare.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, when I first saw Vision 11, I thought that was a pretty good intro, but I didn't think it was that good. And then it's just, I don't know if you guys think this, but it's just one of those intros that just gets better and better every time you think about it, and every time you watch it, it just gets better and better. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
a type of intro that stays consistent.
Yeah,
I'd
I
say
think
that's my
yes.
favorite Vision intro.
it's my favorite intro of all time. Honestly, I go that far. I think I just love it so
Goddamn.
much.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
The song especially is a
See,
vibe.
There are Vision intros I do like more than it. Like, I'm not complaining that's in the top 10. I think most of the other top 10 ones stand out over it. Like, I understand if people like it. The aesthetic is amazing. And people do say it's like their favorite Daft's intro and stuff. It's just personally, in my opinion, I think there's better Daft intros and better intros for the top 10. But I definitely think it's like top 30 at minimum.
I think I would kind of agree with that. I still think it's a great intro. For me it's like it kind of stands out as like I hate to use the phrase, but a weak link at the top 10. Like it's just one of the 10 that just doesn't stick quite with me like the
Bruh.
rest does. I don't think it's
Oh,
bad.
I totally disagree with that. It's one of my favorites of the top 10. I would actually restructure it to be towards like the front.
Vouch.
damn.
I think it's too low.
I think it deserves it, and it
It's
works
really
well as an
good.
intro.
My opinion on the top 10 is I actually like vibe with the like 7 to like 4 area more than the actual like top few. But I've always just kind of had a different style, so
Yeah, I always preferred the Auto Verbit over the All Stars one personally.
Oh, I love that Orbit one so much. I adore it.
I will give some credit to campaign 6 because I think out of the top 10, that one captures the theme of the season the best. I think it really, like, if you don't know Danganronpa, I think it hits the nail on the head when it comes to Danganronpa as a game. Like, all of them are good intros, but I think campaign 6 hits the theme perfectly compared to the rest. Same with Phobia 18. That's probably the close second.
I was about to say
Yeah.
my eternal bias, but I think Phobia's one does it pretty well.
Yeah,
I would have liked to see more
Phobia,
art.
I think Phobia.
I'm gonna let you finish.
is
The
the
Yeah.
Phobia
best
18 had the best
theme.
theme of all time.
It goes for a completely different like ambience when watching it, which is not something you see often in intros like that.
I would have liked to see more art in the top 10, personally.
Oh yeah, there's a lack of art.
Oh, yeah, it's Phobia, campaign.
Campaign, and I think that's it.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is actually straight up just it. What's like the next highest like art intro? It's
Paradox?
Oh, it would be Paradox. That's
Paradox
right.
4.
Yeah,
I guess the art doesn't make the intro.
I guess that's true.
Intro maketh art.
I mean, I've been always one to say that art doesn't make, like, it can make an intro stand out, but I don't think it's the only thing that makes an intro stand out. I think it's a mix between art and the creator, like intro creator.
I think this is a good way to think about it. Like, a really good art will make a bad intro better, but really good art will make a really good intro. I mean, I don't think really good art does much to a really good intro. I think even if a really good intro had like maybe like mediocre renders or mediocre art, then it would still be a really good intro. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you'd
think
be
you
able
need
to
a-
make them look good.
All right. Anyone else have any comments you want to make about the top 10 of the list?
What was 3 and 4 again?
So,
Win 4 is All Stars and Out of Orbit.
Oh yeah, that was the Phantom duo, and and Cinema 6 was in it. I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was just a solid top 10. I don't know. There was much to say, but I thought it was really good top 10.
one day
I'm happy
I'm
with it.
just praying for Out of Orbit 8 to get higher than All Stars 5. Just praying one year it just slips past.
Me too. Because I like Out of Orbit 8 more than All Stars 5.
I do too.
Yeah, I
people
agree with
not?
that.
I think it's awesome.
I like the way it, like the camera moves. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Like, ever since it came out, it's not like I was overshadowed by the All Stars 5 hype with it when it came out. I've always thought Out of Orbit 8 was better. So,
Yeah, just unfortunate. All right, if no one's got anything else to say about the top 10 here, we'll kind of move on to a next thing. Oh, by the way, great news for viewers. Wacko Flipper is muted. I repeat, Wacko Flipper is muted, and will be gone for a while. This is fantastic. So, okay. So the other topic we have here is talking about some new intros to the list, but also intros that have come back to the list. I want to start with the latter because I think the latter will take a little bit less time. There's a handful of intros, and I can't remember the exact like history of like all the previous top 100s to know like what everything has returned, but there's a few interesting returns, and it's maybe my bias, but I gotta talk about it. Phobia season 6 being here messes with my head.
I agree.
Big time. It confuses me to no end. It is not a bad intro by any means, but the fact that it returned in the year of our Lord 2021 surprises me greatly.
Yeah, I agree. It's very simple and it's very like 2015,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, during the voting, I kind of saw like some kind of hype just come back for that intro for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it's still a pretty cool intro, and I don't mind it being there, but definitely is maybe not the intro that needed to return.
No, it's not what I would have picked. Even as an
Well-
organizer myself, it's like I'm still like this is a strange one.
What caused the hype for that one?
I
I don't know.
don't think there
I
was
think
anything.
it's just really memorable.
I guess it is like the only thing really is just a kind of a nostalgia kind of just a memory.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the art is unique, I guess.
I mean, it reminds me of like an older like WMC intro, which usually plays pretty high. So Sometimes like simple's not bad.
I guess, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it's just with the kind of the intro climate that they exist nowadays. It feels weird for something like that to just kind of be like, "Hey, I'm back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it's placing higher than other modern phobia intros, which we've kind of discussed
Okay,
why that's
yeah.
happening.
Yeah,
have
like
the
Phobia 13.
Mm-hmm.
I have the list for the intros that came back. So the intros that were released before the 2020 top 100, but were not in it, are Phobia 6, Agency 8, Hilton Quiver 9, Kata 11. Then you also have Arcade.
Oh yeah,
And
arcade.
and
Oh,
after that, I don't think there's anything else.
arcade.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Research real quick.
I will have to say another example, in my opinion, of a round that came back oddly this year, because I think it's dated a bit, is Hilton Quiver 9.
Yeah, I think I would go as far as being as unkind as saying I don't know if I like that intro. Like, just straight
Yeah.
up.
I don't think I like it either.
I like it personally, but it is somewhat unique kind of style. So
I think it's very weird, especially because it actually got like, didn't it get like in the 80s or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 81.
All right, I see it right now.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at that one. Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
I'm
it's like
looking at-
directly one place above like Desire 5 as a comparison.
Like, if I'm just saying for Jacob standards, there are a ton of Jacob intros that didn't come on this list that I think are better than Hilton Quiver. So that's why I'm like kind of confused.
I
Like,
remember a ton of Hilton Quiver ones that were actually like pretty unique too.
yeah, like
yeah,
there's
like
the
Hilton
one
Quiver.
with the like the I can't remember which season it was, but the one with like the where it like pans around the still render. Like that one. I
and the
remember
one that's almost like a character select screen was pretty
yeah,
cool.
I have fond memories of those ones, but 9
oh yeah,
not so
that
much.
I forget what season that was. That was pretty good.
Yeah, chat remind us.
Chat, does anyone know what Hilton Quiver season that was?
The panning camera one, the cool one. Someone's got to know.
7.
7. All right, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, that one. I thought that one was that was sick. And if I had to pick one, I would probably choose that one over 9. But 9 is here, and not only is it here, it's higher than a good couple intros.
Mm-hmm.
Very strange.
Kind of hard to explain like why it's that intro that came back and not like any other one.
I'm pretty sure that's the only Hilton Quiver intro on the list.
It is.
So it's like really weird to me that that's the one that comes out of it. But oh well, it's what it is.
Yeah, and then another one, as you mentioned, Arcade, coming back at 64. It's a very interesting one because it seems to kind of drift in and out of if people remember it fondly or not. Because it certainly has some polarizing elements to it.
It's really like well made. Like it's like professional made. It feels like.
There's a lot. There's a fair number of like proper animated intros like that nowadays. But like when it came out, it was nothing like it. But it's definitely got some things I have issue with.
The other animated ones, like you can still tell that it was just like kind of amateur, like made by one person. But like this one, I don't know. It just has the vibe of like a company made it or something.
It reminds me of like I'm just watching it now for the first time. It reminds me of one of those Captain Sparkles music videos.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Also,
that's
I
pretty
like
good.
how we're talking about like professionally made intros when literally Tommy SX farts in the intro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just farting.
It's like got an air of like cinematic quality to it.
That's the kind of intros I'm like, it has elements that people will like it, and there's a lot of new people in the community now with all the stuff that happened that are like never seen the intro. So if they go through the post and just watch that one, I feel it's the kind of an intro that could get votes from that alone because they know nothing other than it's animated and could interest them. Since I think the winter intros are pretty popular too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, The winter ones are also just fantastic. Big fan of
Winter
those.
kind of dominates the list with just scattered around. Depends which ones people remember more, really, in the end.
Mm-hmm. Just narrowly missing out on the top 10 too. Very tragic.
Yeah, it's very tragic. It's just, I feel like Winter has so many good intros, and people are going to vote for different ones, like I said. So him making the top 10 is hard because they're all very similar styles. It just goes by, like, preference, I guess.
You choose which winter intro you want to vote for, and
Yeah.
Like, it almost made top 10 with Astrology 7, but just not quite.
I do personally think Astrology 4 is better than Astrology 7, which is that Astrology 7 had like more recency bias towards
I
it.
agree.
That's true.
Oh, I just noticed, actually, Astrology 7 won by a coin flip, it looks like. That's sad. Oh, well.
Astrology 7?
It looks like it lost. It's like
Oh yeah, it doesn't have any asterisks on the post, so that means it probably lost to like one of the first tiebreakers, which is the number of votes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So AP10 probably got more votes than Astrology 7.
I see. Oh, well. Maybe next year, Winter. Your intro's awesome.
There's actually only 4 tied intros, which they actually got affected by all 4 tiebreakers, and they were still tied after that, which was counting the number of votes and then checking which one has the best individual placement, and then just doing a summary of the placements from 1 to 10. And so if it's all tied, I basically had to do a coin flip, and I had to do it between number 84 and 85, 60 and 61, 19, 91, and 92 and 93. Which is just, I asked Maxa to pick a number between 1 and 2, and it decided the intro.
That's one way to do a coin flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not have an actual coin or something?
I could literally ask my Google to do a coin
I feel
flip.
like Maxa is a better coin.
And I guess. Is that a compliment?
Is Max a god?
A little bit.
Yeah, another fun fact with the list is WMC 26 is also 0, so it got 99 2 years in a row.
That is a very the higher up
Just barely.
the higher up it is theoretically the easier places
Yeah.
to hit dead even, but 99 is is literally one place off the hardest place to stay neutral.
Yeah, so it's very interesting.
All right, so that was okay. So that's a bunch of the returning ones. Now we get to go absolutely apeshit here on the new intros to the list. Do you want to start from the bottom or want to start from the top? I guess.
Well,
say
we
we
already talked about the top 10, so
Yeah.
maybe let's go to like up to maybe in the top 25, if
Yep.
there's anything
Yep.
worth mentioning.
Well, there's one that I want to mention from the top 25, which is not necessarily talk about the intro, but more talk about the circumstances around it. Is number 18, the original Ambition Season 19 intro.
I figured that
Oh,
one.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 of the same intro. Or like basically the same.
It's just one had normal audio and one had pitched up audio.
I
And
don't know if I agree with like both of them should be
Yeah.
eligible.
yeah, that's a very weird one for me. I kind of
It's the kind
I remember I
it's the
think
kind of thing. Since I did the voting, I saw the votes. It's kind of weird because different people voted for different intros in those, but there's also some people that voted for both intros. So
Wasn't there like a short list?
yeah,
How did they both make it onto that?
I don't know why I put them in the shortlist. I think I figured out. Oh, there's no way they're both gonna make it in because it's the same intro. And then
Alas.
both intros got voted on. So it kind of reached a point where I can't combine the intros because then all the votes are invalid because make a lot of votes invalid.
Higher.
Yeah, because some people voted twice for that intro and some people just voted for one of them. So it's kind of weird. So my guess is like if you had a situation like that again, it's just to include both together, because otherwise you kind of get stuck in a position where you kind of have to show both, because otherwise you just, if you remove one, you remove some votes, and it's very
Yeah,
complicated.
Hannah does raise an
Yeah.
interesting point in chat that those two were voted on separately, but you could argue that some rounds have episodic intros that would be more defined from one another than those two ambition ones are. Like, I think AP10 is a fantastic example. I think the differences between each AP10 intro, episode intro, I think, is greater than the Ambition 19 differences.
I think the main reason I think both were there is same as last year. Oh, I think the two Tell the Tale intros were there, so I think we just continued with that. And well, both Tell the Tale 3 intros never got in, so it never really affected the list. But this time it affected the list, and kind of see what it creates.
Maybe something like all of them are eligible, but only one can be on like the short list. So there's no muddiness in voting for one over the other.
I guess so. But yeah, we need to make some kind of.
But
I guess
it's
that
gonna
works.
slip through.
It's just kind of weird because there's some people that vote for both. I'm like, that's kind of weird. I mean, you do whatever you want with your vote, but
Really like
Yeah.
it.
In terms of, I also, just to give in terms of, because this is obviously how the vote ended up manifesting, in terms of how well it ranked, like, I kind of do agree that the original season 19 is better than the I guess the edited season 19, but definitely not by how far apart they are.
yeah.
It's
Well, I guess, yeah.
because
I guess people just voted for the original more. Like, they just voted for the original and then they just left that other one.
Imagine
Yeah.
if there was only one intro and they just made like a last second change to the song and like people were like, "Oh, this just ranked 40 places worse because you did that."
it's not even 40. It's like 60 places worse.
Oh shit.
It's
Someone
it's
gonna let
huge.
Bipexel know?
Yeah, it's when,
Art doesn't control the
Ambition.
intro, music does.
But yeah, I think one of them should have been in the short list, not both of them. So
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree too.
it's a kind of thing to think about for the future.
Mhm.
Like, it's kind of tricky when some intros have alternate versions. Like, some of them is just different music. Some of them is just small changes. I mean, it's really like need to consider what's worth like having two entries and what should have one entry.
Yeah, it's just something I think you gotta evaluate. And IMO in this instance, I think it was probably only worth having one for this one, because I don't think it's gonna exactly suffer from only having one.
yeah,
Another intro I kind of want to bring up from the top 25 here is UHC Nena Internacional,
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah,
which is a very pleasant surprise to see in the top 25.
It's kind of the one unwritten show of the year that shows up out of nowhere that no one expected and does well.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's mandatory for each year, and I think this one is
Yeah.
this one's pretty good.
The
very
animations
good, I
are
think.
clean.
It's very divisive from like I hear from people. Like, some people are like super hyped that it showed like the animation's very clean, but some people are just, it's way too flashy for them and they just dislike it.
I know a lot of people don't like screen pumps and intros, and I feel like that ranks it down for a lot of people.
If you don't like screen pumps and intro, watch the Origin UHC season 1 intro.
No, you can't bring that up here. You can't do that. It's illegal.
Can't.
You can't do that. Also, I think Katie Lawson might just picked up my microphone. Ignore that.
Kind of.
I think she's playing Phasmophobia. So ignore her.
All right.
But yeah, this intro, I mean, I like it. I kind of do agree that it is maybe a little too screen pumpy and it's a little too much, but it's just so clean. Like, I can't knock how clean it is.
The backgrounds are nice. The animations are the smoothest animations I've ever seen. with Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like it.
Yeah, it's
I'm not a person.
Yeah, it's extremely clean, and like the screen bumps aren't too much for me, but like I guess I have a pretty high tolerance to that stuff. But this, it's not like too bad, I think.
Yeah, screen pumps are not don't bother me. I think sometimes in an intro they work. You know, there are definitely some intros where it's unnecessary, but I think that one helps it a bit.
I think it's only unnecessary. Well, like the song, it depends on the song for me. Like the song's like pretty intense or like hype, and like the drums are like strong, so it fits.
Yeah.
But
I like it on certain beats. If it's like every beat, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
There's like a part of the song that like gets pretty crazy. It usually works pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone else got any intros you wanna bring up here from top 25? Maybe a little further out.
I mean, I'll go from like the top 50, and there's two new intro makers I want to mention. Which the first one is Jokes, which he was in the top 100 last year with the modded UHC season 1, but still gained 44 places this year. So I think a lot of more people appreciate his works now that he made the Astrology season 6 intro, which
Mhm.
also got top 30. So
Yeah. I think he's an insane intro maker and render maker and animator because they're all good within that type. Those two, at least. Like,
yeah,
Astrology 6 isn't animated, but the renders are goated, and I think it's really clean. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I
I'm
like it.
surprised that's his only intro that like made it in top 100. Like only modded. I think most people don't know the other ones, but
yeah.
like no one looked into them really.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this modded intro. I think it looks very cool.
I think
Yeah.
people keep saying it would be higher if the renders weren't falling on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that. I'm gonna be real.
I don't either. I don't see the renders falling hurting the intro at all.
yeah, that's a weird complaint.
I
I
think,
heard that one a lot.
I think if I had one complaint related to the falling renders, it would probably be the fact that they quite visibly slow down near the end. It looks like they're just coming to a standstill, like they're a jet plane or something. I think if they just kept their speed, it would look a bit more natural, but they slow down in a very weird way.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But yeah, other
I
than
don't know
that,
if anyone else had something to say about those intros. But then I'll just go to the next one, which is the Rocket intros. Rocket just starting making intros and is already part of the top 40.
hey, Rocket's
Rocket's
cracked.
Yeah.
I think he only has two intros that are we had three intros that are possible for that list, and two of them got in, which is the Fission one and the TGF one.
Mm-hmm.
Fission 15 is like my favorite Fission intro. Like we were talking about like favorite Fission intros earlier, and I think 15 is like my favorite.
Oh really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I wanted to mention the other one, the Great Frontier. I really like that one. It's a lot of fun. Like some part of like the animations are like the tracking. You can tell he was kind of messed up, but like it flows really well like to the song, and it's a lot of fun. I really like that one.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun intro. Like I feel that's a weird saying, but it's fun, and that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I like that. I like this intro quite a bit. And again, I don't want to repeat the same words again, but I would agree. Yeah, it's very fun. It's very charming.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Mm-hmm. I think I prefer this one over the Fission one. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them are really
I
good.
would agree. Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not saying either of them are bad. I'm just picking personal preference, and I think I would go with the TGF one, just because it has more of a unique style, and I like how playful it is.
Yeah. I get that.
All right, what else?
Oh,
What else we got
I
here?
realized there's a lot of intros I want to mention in the top 50. Because a lot of them created a bunch of discussion around them.
Can we talk about Calamity 16?
Yeah, Calamity 16 is a big one.
Oh, do we get to talk about it now?
There's a lot of people that love that intro and a lot of people that hate that intro.
Yeah.
I don't hate it,
Oh, what? Oh,
but
this is the one with the memes.
yes,
Yeah.
it's the memes one.
Yeah, I don't think it's like particularly well made or like impressive. Like, no offense, but so yeah, I think a lot of the placing is due to the memes, in my opinion.
It's like I think if you stripped all the background footage out and you just put in like I don't know like you just put like you just put like blurred camera mod footage of like a savanna biome, this wouldn't I don't think it would make shortlist.
No.
Hello.
Yeah,
Oh, welcome back. We're talking.
there for the. Oh, Waco liked that one. He's perfect.
Oh,
for
yeah,
it.
he had to defend it.
Yeah.
What intro is it? Is it Calamity 16?
Yep.
Yeah.
You guessed it.
I know. I like the intro.
I when you got here, I was saying that I think if you took out all of the background footage and you replaced it with like blurred camera mod footage of a savanna biome, this intro wouldn't even make it to the shortlist. But because of the background, it just being memes, it's like suddenly people are like, boom, top 50.
Exactly. That's the best part.
It's
Is
a
it?
funny
Yeah.
it's a funny intro. It is. Now, I think it's a little high, but I don't want to complain that it's in the top 100 because one, recency bias is a reason, and two, a lot of people find it's unique and fun because of the memes, which a lot of people don't do in intros. I think it's different, and that's why people voted for it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I have seen like people like outside the main group of like Calamity like actually liking the intro and voting for it. So
Harlan loves it.
Yo, real?
it is real. I'm pretty sure I've seen a clip of it.
Oh god, really?
It's really funny. Deb said it was. If you guys know what, what's the anime called with the really funny dub, Ghost Story or something. But he said it's like the ghost story of you would see intros, like Ghost Story. Yeah, you need to know the reference. It's actually a very funny reference. Just trust me, it's funny. Okay, guys.
Okay, I'll trust you. I'll trust you.
You're funny.
Yeah. I didn't say I was funny. I said Dibs was funny.
Fair.
But yeah, Ghost Story. That's what it's called.
Yeah, top 50, no. That's just about it. Top 50, no. This is one where I like if it came up in like the 90s, I'd be like, haha, that's nice. But like higher than that, I'm just like, this is crazy.
I'm not a fan of it personally.
It just.
I definitely. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I definitely think this is a one-time thing. I don't think it will appear again. I just think it's a
Yeah.
one-time little funny.
Because it's recent, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just friendly reminder that Calamity 16 is one place higher than TBA 2. Just gonna throw that one out there.
That's another classic one.
Although
That
That's so old. Like, what the hell?
I kind of think that's a crossing of the paths of Calamity being way too high and TBA 2 being way too low. TBA 2 like nearly missing the top 50 is crazy. But
It kind of fell off this year. Like he used to be somewhat high and fell off from last year.
39 places. Jeez.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just absurd.
Kind of ridiculous. 'Cause I like it. I think it's fun. It's another fun intro. And it fell off a lot.
Yeah, I think people just unanimously are just like TBA 2 is awesome. But then for some reason this year the votes didn't manifest as such,
I think people are just forgetting about it.
which is very tragic.
I think this whole thing, like I mentioned earlier, with you know, with all the non-raid stuff happening and a lot of new people being in the community, I feel like there's a whole lot of people that have to rewatch those old intros, and they're gonna have different opinions because there's kind of a part of nostalgia that's they're not gonna get from it being a very old intro. So if it's a very clean intro that's old, it might just not make it because of that.
Yeah, which is rough. It's kind of tragic. All right,
But yeah, another intro I think needs to be mentioned in the top 50 is R&R 16.
oh
Just for how
yes.
unique it is.
Oh, I
Banger.
love
I
R&R
love that one.
16.
I think it should be way higher than
R&R
what it is.
16, I think single-handedly like takes like the most work. Like that's like frame by frame work right there.
Yeah,
I think he just recorded it.
Yeah,
It's just like a video, but it's still like it's fun, it's unique, it's like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like
It's another fun intro.
it's
Yeah.
fun, and it's just it's like there is absolutely nothing like it. I mean, apart from that one lightning bolt intro from many years ago. But
I remember Lightning Bolt.
I remember that intro. Which I don't think has made it. I don't think it's ever made it to a top 100.
No, was it in the shortlist this year?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Let me look at
don't
Cranston.
Remember Lightning Bolt's intro.
I'm gonna have to like scour the internet for this.
I mean, I know it was nominated. Oh no, it was voted red. People did not vote for Lightning Bolt 6. They did not want Lightning Bolt 6 in the shortlist. I mean, it doesn't look the best. The idea is original, but it doesn't look the best.
Hold on, it's
Oh, I see it now.
I got a link for it here. I'll drop this in the Discord.
It's in the
I've
doc
never seen this
submission list. Yeah.
Guys, oh Captain, my captain is in on the background of the stream right now. I'm just saying.
Your
God
favorite
bless.
intro.
we should sing along.
It's gonna be incredibly hard to do.
Part of a team.
this one's pretty cool too, but I think the burning one's definitely like better made. Like it's
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
better to
definitely agree. This one's definitely more rough, but I was just kind of bringing up that it is
It's a
surprisingly
cool idea.
not the first that's done something like this.
I think R&R 16 did a lot more cleaner, but I actually don't hate this. I
If
kind
the
of like
lighting
it.
was a little bit better, I would like prefer it across the board. I think I like the little characters.
Hmm.
I think if he put like for this lightning bolt one, if he put like the text like as part of the scene instead of just doing it like after in like the editor, I think that would have worked a lot better.
Imagine if like, a little
Because I don't think the text. I think the text doesn't look very clean. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But also, we gotta think at the same time, this is like 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very creative. It's old as well. It's
what
it's
does
a
that
cool
mean? Has
concept.
technology advanced since then?
Well, it's more just a case of the community being younger, and it seems that intros
Oh,
from
that's fair.
further back weren't as adventurous or didn't try as hard as intros do now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just, back in 2015, things were still fairly simple for the most part. You got some creative stuff like that.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's a side tangent. R&R 16
I like
very
these
cool.
types of intros because I feel like they could have come out at any time. They almost like are creative because they're so like different in the way they.
Oh yeah, that is
approach it.
true. Yeah, I kind of think that
You
is
know,
kind
like,
of
I wouldn't be
timeless.
shocked to see this same intro come out in 2015. I still think it could have.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's quite timeless in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a cool point. All right, what other intros did you want to bring up, Brody? Just rattle us through.
I feel like there was a lot of Flusmaker hype this year. I mean, Cynical 7 coming back. Cynical 9 lost a few places, but Cynical 4 gained 34 places. And also Geo8 is there. I mean, he didn't make the intro, but he also made the song there. So there's love for Flusemaker's song, you know?
Oh, there's always a lot of love for Flusemaker.
Block Soul Brothers.
Walk Soul Brother.
Love those songs, man.
Not crazy. Oh, Flu's first intro is the one that ranked the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an absolutely insane intro.
Yeah, he just did it as his first intro.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Block Soul Brothers is better.
Mm-hmm. I like all of them. Flusemaker intros are just good.
Yeah, I mean, I like the season 4 one because just the art, the transitions between the teams, just all of the elements to it, the music, the damn music. It's
That
just
music
fantastic.
was in my dreams.
It just works. It just all works so perfectly together. It's like I can see why it's valued as the best.
Speaking of Flusemaker songs, so Geology 8 is on the screen currently.
Ah, you're right. It
They made
is.
the song for that.
I'm surprised that plays so highly, to be honest.
Yeah, surprised people voted for that because I personally like it because I made it, but I also there's a lot of stuff I don't like about it anymore that would change, and I didn't
It is.
expect people to actually vote for that.
I like the backgrounds a lot. I think it's pretty good, but I just don't think it should be this high.
I think it's the animations personally and the funny because they're funny and they showcase funny moments from previous seasons or the people or about the people, I guess.
Yeah, there's a little character to him.
Yeah, that makes him more memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Yeah.
if you're a Geo fan or know the people, it grows on you.
Yeah, it definitely has like all the references to like previous moments. Definitely has something like special
Like-
to it.
Like Wizard smelting his power bow, Firm removing his hat layer. Like if you know stuff like that, like the little inside jokes, it's really funny.
There's Clemmy 16, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, I
no.
knew you would mention that.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was next.
You won that.
I won that, guys! I won
Oh,
that, guys!
good. I thought this
Oh,
was
it's
over.
Calm down. Calm down.
I thought this was over.
Alright, next topic.
Wait, can I mention one more intro in
Yeah.
the I want to mention wait, what was it? Oh yeah, Combat in Progress.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a very unique intro. I think I was
It's
very
unique.
happy with it.
I just
So
wish
here-
I could read the
Like
text.
Yeah.
That's my only issue, is you can't really read half the intro. But I think it's like Kanako's best intro.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
I like it. I mean, it's really good. Like the game menu is definitely like, I know a lot of people have done like that kind of gimmick before, but this is definitely probably like the best like well-made game menu I've seen. But then like he did that and then he didn't do much else,
Yeah.
and that was what I feel.
I think
But
if it was
it's still pretty good.
I think if it was a bigger FFA, it wouldn't be as well because it would have got more repetitive. But I think for the small FFA that it was, I think it worked fine.
Yeah, I know for a fact that this intro was supposed to be the exact same thing, but with Golden Globe season 4, which had like 24 people, and he was gonna do that with that round, but then Summer realized, I think, that he told Jenna that she could make the intros, so they had to give up on Kanako for this one, and that's where I got him for Combat in Progress.
Classic Summer.
But yeah, otherwise the Golden Globe 4 intro will be completely different. And maybe this intro wouldn't be liked as much because instead of 12 player, it'll be 24, so you'd have double the length of that.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that Golden Globe intro on that topic that Jenna made.
Yeah, for bringing the Arami intro, it's pretty good.
All right.
Is there anything else from the top 100? I'm looking, we'll see what's new and what it's worth mentioning. Unless someone else has something else to mention.
No,
Oh,
there's
sorry,
not really.
I'm taking a browse here as well. Having a look see.
There's two intros that were from 2020. Didn't make the top 100 last year, but they made it this year. And those two intros are Venus Season 7 and Around the World Season 3. They kind of gained more hype after the
Venus
year.
7 was a surprise for sure. I liked it a lot, but I didn't think it would get to 100 at all.
Yeah. And I think Around the World was like barely made it. Barely did not make it last year.
I'm
Was it
surprised
the
it
one
didn't
that
make it last
crazy?
year, to be honest.
Was Venus the one that Cyclone made?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Team of free season, if you remember correctly.
I thought that one was pretty good.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised it made top 100. I like it a lot, so kind of happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the around the world one it just surprises me more that it missed last year.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that.
It's really good.
It's pretty damn good. So this being his first year is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to peep some of these more of the intros here, just to be sure.
Ambition 27 is one that a lot of people like for like how clean it is.
Oh, yeah. Also, he only made that like 2 days,
Yeah.
by the way.
Which is
Yeah.
insane.
It's very clean, and I feel like it gives that old intro feel, which I think why a lot of people like it.
Yeah, this is another intro that has a lot of fun with it, and I think it does it very well.
Yeah.
Kind of, it's intentionally invoking kind of something else, and I think it does it in a very fun and still very well presented way.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. One I want to point out that upset me a little is
Oh, God.
I'm very sad that World Cup 2021 was 98th.
Oh yeah,
That's a sham.
That one was very upsetting.
I love World Cup 2021. I
It
think
gets
it
a
was
little
on my
long
list.
for me, but towards the end, like
Oh, that
there's
sounds
maybe a
pretty
little
nice,
too many
yeah.
teams.
On World Cup, did 2020 make it?
No.
Yeah.
Mixed
Oh,
messages.
I'm saying-
Yeah,
I'm
they do.
conflicting reports here.
Wait, 20? No, it's 2019 that made it.
I know
2020
2019
Yeah,
made it.
19,
Yeah.
19 and 21 made it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 19, not
2020 didn't
2020.
make it? 2020 deserved to be in there. Wow, that's such a great intro.
Wacko, we
28
just watched you today. Come on.
Oh, I didn't join for the top 10. I might have missed. No, not the top 10. The bottom 10. The
That's true.
190. What else? And World Cup 2019 should have been much higher. I think that's like a top 20 intro for me. Maybe top 10. That's just my opinion, but I think it should be higher either way. It's only like number 50 or something.
I
Right there.
agree it should be higher, but I don't think it should be that much higher.
I think it should be.
Next year we should just have Wacko make the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the
You
best
vote.
opinion, so
Yeah.
Buckles, Flippers, top 100.
yeah.
Just sitting there going through the top 10, just hearing Wacko for every single one, being like, "Guys, I played this one. I won this
won."
one. I won this one."
I do a perp Dan and Bobby the Turtle in this one.
No.
I totally didn't get carried, guys.
Right. Okay.
That would never happen.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone have any other intros they want to like select out to talk about? Either new or old.
Uh,
None of the new ones. But yeah, it's an interesting point to bring up some intros that just manage to stay there year after year after year. And it's not even like intros like in the top 10. There's some intros that like consistently like stays around like the top 50. Like Desire 10 is still there. Fission 8 stays around the same position too.
Addiction
Goes
10
with
is
that.
pretty old by now. Oh, it gained like 28. What the hell?
Yeah, Addiction 10 gained 28.
Wow, that's
The only
surprising,
one-
actually.
The only thing I was upset about was like I had like a bunch of intros on there, but not Addiction 13. Like I really wanted that to be on there.
Did WMC7 make it again?
Yeah, dude.
As it always does.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite intros.
I have a big hot take with when it comes to a certain intro that always makes the list pretty high. I've always not been that big of a fan of Story 6. And I feel like that's a big hot take.
That is a controversial one. There's some people that really like it, some people that don't like it. I think the main problem with people that don't like it is it's not easy to read.
It's very hard to read. And I feel
How I feel about Story 6 is it's like it definitely has a lot of glaring flaws, but I just think what it does well is that good that it kind of at least mostly compensates for the things it does pretty bad.
Yeah. I just feel like if it was more readable, I'd like it 10 times more. It's just pretty unreadable.
Yeah, it's definitely, that is a huge problem with the intro in that regard. But
like, I think I'm not even gonna try to say his name because I can't say it for the life of me. But I think that intro maker has better intros.
Just call him Vic.
Okay, Vic. I think Vic has better intros.
Is this Romastamo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Romastamo. It's not that hard.
Just call him Vic.
I know I will mess it up.
Did Restriction 4 make this year? It didn't, did it?
No, it did not.
No.
What?
I don't think it was nominated.
Huh?
Wacka's very upset.
How did people forget to nominate Restriction 4?
Oh, that's
When
quite
you
troubling.
nominate something next year.
I'll nominate it next year.
Okay.
I always preferred Restriction 3.
Because you're in it.
No, because Sleeping made it.
No, as in you're in the season, aren't you?
Oh yeah, no, I am. I just remember it being one of like the first like really animated intros like that I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I think those two intros are really good.
Season 2 was pretty good too. I actually made the art for that.
I like the restriction.
I remember that.
Okay, now that we're kind of talking about it, we can maybe move on to something else here. We can talk about
Those that didn't make it.
yeah, let's talk about stuff that didn't make it.
Restriction 4.
Well, I mean, first of all, I just want to give a quick shout out to Colin for getting an intro in 101st, 102nd, and 103rd.
Wow,
That is an
that's
achievement.
unlucky.
It is unfathomably unlucky.
Hey, you got into the top 100 though. You got like what, 22?
Yeah, you got some in the list, so it's cool.
Yeah, it's just kind of he's just the gatekeeper of getting to the actual list itself.
What were the 3 that didn't make it?
It was Conjure 2, Evo 16, and Animate to Life 9.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree, Hannah. When Maynard's Con again was dropped. That's one of my favorite intros as well.
A lot of people mention All Stars 3 not being in the list.
Oh, true. Yeah, All Stars free.
Also,
It's,
being there is upsetting.
It's 111. It was
Wow.
somewhat close, but it did not make it.
And there was the fishing intros that you mentioned earlier, Hannah. What was it? Fishing 3 and Fishing 4? Or Fishing 5, I can't remember. But there was a couple of fishing intros that didn't make it. It was only like
Let's scout here.
3 fishing intros? Only 3 fishing intros making it. Yeah, 5.
Vision
There's
Only
only
3
one.
fishing intros is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Vision 3 is 118.
There's only one recent winter intro that didn't make it, and it's Azure 11.
Yeah, that was shocking, honestly.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Azure 11 for a winter intro. I mean, personally.
Maybe that's why.
I think I'm forgetting this one. Hold on, let me peep it again.
Didn't you play that one?
I did. That's why I've forgotten it. I gotta peep again. Oh, yeah, it's this one. Oh, this one. Yeah, this one is definitely a little bit more peculiar.
This intro, I'm kind of sad that didn't get into the top 100. Is R&R 9? That one's upset.
R&R 12 did.
Even R&R 10. I like R&R 10 as well. Those 3, just R&R has some good intros. I feel like are just forgotten.
When Burning wants to pop off, he pops off.
Yeah.
But then the people don't respect him. when he doesn't get into the list. Sad.
Also, I think this is like the first top 100. I didn't see like Mazet.
Is that Yushi?
Oh
Mazet
yeah.
UHC season 5. I feel like I always see that intro somewhere.
That
and it wasn't in this year.
was 132nd this year.
Yeah, it got really low.
I like this one. I think this one's kind of aged a little, but I think it's
Yeah.
still pretty good. I probably would pick this over a few that did make it into the list. So
Mm-hmm.
what else down here is surprising to me.
Oh, Instinct 5 not making it. That's aged a lot. I feel like because Instinct 5 used to be a big one, and now it's just really
Is that the
low.
Nolan one?
That's the Nolan and me one that we both did.
Isn't that the one with like the R on like the Minecraft tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
god,
one- yeah,
that is
that
a
was-
daylight robbery.
Yeah, that was the previously top 5 one.
That should be it. That should be up. That should be top 50. I love that intro.
Yeah.
It's 158th.
I would not say that aged. I think that's still a really good intro. I'm
Well,
surprised that
it's just aged on people, I guess, because either people forgot it or just don't like it anymore. I know a lot of people don't like it anymore. I've heard, but
I like it a lot.
I don't like it as much as I used to anymore, but also I feel it's kind of a part where if the run gets forgotten, the intro kind of gets forgotten too.
yeah.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. Yeah, this definitely like 100% should be on the list.
Yeah.
Which I think the last Instinct season was on the first day of last year, so
Woo.
It's
not
it's a recorded round on the subreddit, so maybe people just forgot the intro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go down this list.
maybe some I don't know. And there's some stuff that also could have been not on the short list that people completely forgot about.
I'm watching an intro that I'm just looking from the full list here that I've never seen before. What the hell is Peninsula Season 4?
That's
Oh, that was awesome. I love that one.
Yeah, I'm looking at
It's
this. This
one
looks
of the
kind of cool.
intros that came from the non-read intro playlist. I have no idea where Everton got from, but it's there.
Yeah, this intro's kind of sick.
It is kind of sick. I like it. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
it's
it
just
is.
one that people don't know about, so they didn't vote for it.
No, Yushin and I did the same thing, but I don't think it's as good as Yushin and
That's true. I feel like
where
just
like
picked one.
they watched Yushin and they were like, oh, I like that. I wanted to make it the list. They didn't have the same reaction with that one, which is still good, but it's not as appealing as the other one.
Yeah, that's
So I figured
unfortunate.
that's why.
That's just again the biases of people being like they put intros in like categories and it's like, oh, we'll only do one or two from said category to just add diversity to their own submissions.
Oh my god! I just noticed. I'm not gonna say the points it got because I don't want to like demotivate people, but Vision 5 got super low. Like it's way down here. I love Vision 5.
228.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
Cody didn't say it, but Chibi's just gonna read out loud.
I mean, I don't think it matters that much.
Okay,
I
you
think
don't have to, I got
it's nothing against the intro itself. I think it's more like it's an older intro, so it's probably more forgotten than assumed.
People just forgetting stuff, honestly.
There's like
Yeah.
so many good intros at this point. It's kind of hard to remember every single good intros you like.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
seeing
like
some,
that's
like Desire 11, Pathfinder 10 are two that's standing out to me right now.
Probably some of them that are not even on the shortlist, which is completely forgetting about them because there's too many good intros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
that's what I was saying. Like at the start, like every intro that made it, in my opinion, is like good. So like it's hard to narrow it down to 100.
This guy likes Clammy 16. He just said he just made it.
Ooh,
Echo takes that
Fear
away.
Battle 15 is another one.
That's a win for my books, guys.
right, then if we're on that part of the sheet, we're starting to get to the territory of the very bottom of the sheet here, which is intros that made the shortlist but got 0 votes. This is a very sad section.
There's the category of the part of intros that weren't in the shortlist and got added back, which are pretty interesting intros.
Oh yeah, what were those?
So the intros that got added back are, I'll go in order. we got Abstraction 7, which got 10 points. Agency 13, which got 17 points. Agency 15, that got 20 points. Dilemma Season 2, that got 27 points. Phobia 11 got 16 points. Back in Time 6 got 0 points. Kata 8 got 0 points. Instinct 6 got 7 points. Pathfinder 13 got 0. Pathfinder 15 got 14. And End of the World got 15. So none of the intros that got added back got enough points to make the list.
Should have kept them up.
I think it's the same thing happened last year as well. Yeah, nothing that got added to the list made it in. Which I don't.
That makes people happy to be able to vote on them because they're intros they personally like.
Mhm.
But it kind of shows why they were removed in the first place. So maybe it wasn't a bad call from us as the group that voted on it.
This is gonna make Wacko very sad, but there was no votes on Cinema 11.
Oh, was there actually not?
Nope.
I'm surprised by that.
Same for Cinema 10.
If someone reminded me, I would have put Cinema 11 on my list for sure. Because I never actually voted because I forgot.
You forgot.
You could have been the one vote.
I forgot. I could have been the vote for Cinema 11. I'm surprised Cinema 11 didn't even get a vote. That's so shocking.
Just
Yeah.
put it at the top one of your.
Yeah, talk about recency bias, and then that intro gets 0 votes.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Make your-
Because the thing is, the reception was really good for that as well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I feel like with my intros, I feel like Abstraction 9 and Serenity 8 stood out a bit more in the end of the day. That's why. But, oh well. I think it's good still, at least in my opinion. So I think that's what matters in the end of the day.
Mhm.
So.
I'm just looking at the 0 section. I'm seeing TDC1 in the 0 vote section, and I'm very sad.
TDC1 is actually pretty decent. I'm surprised.
I
Maybe that's
think-
the one that people just forgot about. Maybe.
Yeah, they forgot about TDC.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's another case of forgotten round, forgotten intro. Very upset. One day. Maybe. I'll think
One
about
day,
it. I'll think
just to
about
vote
it.
for it next year.
One day we will get TDC Season 6.
Yeah, 5's been too difficult, so
Just skipping an intro.
we're just going to skip it. We'll try again next time. We'll go 6 and 5.
That I'm actually pretty shocked I got no votes is TGF 10. I like that intro.
You have to, let me remind myself of this one as well.
It's the Bill one. With
It's the Bill one in the
mansion.
mansion.
Oh yeah. This is a good one.
I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe not a top 100, but I thought I would at least get some votes, you know?
Again, too many good ones.
Yeah. I really like it.
Oh, what was that? Oh god, I just remembered an intro. I went to go check to see if it was in the short list. I don't think it was.
Which one?
It's the what's it called? Was it Mind Time?
No, it's not there.
Oh, was it a case of it was removed from the short list, or did it just not?
I think people forget about it this year.
No. Oh no! I can't believe people forget about Mind Time.
I mean, I think that was the kind of interest. Oh, that's cool. That's funny. Let's vote for it last year, and people just don't care about it next year because the main reason it got there last year because it was funny intros that like people didn't know existed.
But it was actually pretty cool though, considering how old it is as well.
Oh, yeah, it is a cool intro, but I feel like that's kind of the kind of thing that will happen with something like Yuji Nene too, where people liked it this year, so they voted for it, but it will disappear after that because it's not really part of the Reddit rounds.
Yeah, it was just sad.
Well, yeah, I don't know if there's any other intros to mention.
Nothing's gonna stand out to me.
I don't really have any. I mean, I mentioned Edition 13, but I don't really have any that like don't make it. I don't know them that well. So.
Otherwise,
I
we
only
can
know
go
of
and
intros. I don't
guess
know
on the
them
next
personally.
point.
Yeah, I guess in that case we can move on to the next point here. So we'll have a little bit of a discussion here about a topic we've hit a few times when coming up with some intros. We can talk about it a little bit more in depth here, which is recency bias, or to be even more negative about it, boosting.
Do we really need to talk about this more? Because I feel like we should talk about it for the entire time.
I mean,
Yeah, true.
it's, I want to say though, personally, I feel like it's not a bad thing for the top 100 to be like that, because if it's like actually like ranking the 100 intros and really deciding which one is the best, and like you have to vote for the 30 best, you can't have like skip an intro maker because you don't like it, or you don't want to have like multiple intros for that same person or same round. Kind of like gives more freedom on what you can vote if it's like that, and it's more like in some way it's like if you put a pressure on like no bias, then you kind of like make the list boring because it's not going to change a lot from years to years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like this, the recency bias makes the list unique to each year, which honestly makes the list better from that itself. I don't think people should expect something that is 100% accurate.
Well, yeah, I think that is a fair take. I think I don't mind it unless it like starts getting like real crazy, and like because it's definitely been a few years where there's been like something that's been absurdly way too high because of recency bias.
Yeah, which I don't think there was any of that this year, like where there was a bunch of stuff that like felt wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this year is a lot better with it than last year. I think last year had a worse impression on it.
Yeah, this is a better year for that.
Yeah.
Well,
But I guess it's also a part with like the group of people voting being closed in from where I feel like it was more advertised than previous year, or like it affected more people voting. I think like the fact that this year there was like literally no vote that was rejected kind of made me feel like most of the people that voted this year compared to last year were all people that were inside the R Discord rather than people just going through the subreddit, you know?
Mm-hmm. I don't have much to say on the recency bias thing. I do have a few things to say in regards to boosting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd go as far as say anything was boosted this year, because I feel like if you're going
I agree.
if you're going with the statement of something was boosted, it suggests is that something is like was voted by a large majority of people just disproportionately to kind of get like some fake recognition.
I mean,
The closest you could say that something was boosted was Calamity 16, but I don't know if I'd agree with the motive behind it being a boosting.
This guy's such a hater.
from reading all the votes, I don't think that's personally the one I would say is the most boosted.
Right.
What would you say the most boosted is then?
I won't say it. Because then it reveals who voted, and
Yeah, well, yeah, just on the surface, I think Calamity kind of comes across as the one that would be most likely, but then again, I don't think it is, because I feel like that is just a case of if people voted for it who would, you know, be eligible for boosting, I think it is just a case of they did genuinely like the intro.
yeah,
It's
I
just
think
maybe-
the closest to the boosting is
I mean,
a same group of people voting for the intro, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If like there's a group of friends that like all 10 of them are like, let's all put number one for that, that feels more like boosting. But then if they all think it's number one, I think that's fair for them to put in number one. But it definitely feel like some intros that are like all that same friend group vote for that intro as the number one definitely feels like more like a boost, but it's still fair for them to be there.
I
don't
think
it's wrong.
for it to count as a boost, it has to be like organized. Like someone has to be like, guys, like everyone vote for this, so it gets number one. Or
I think
whatever.
that's also fair.
Yeah.
That was a problem, like a problem in like the really old top 100s, like 2016, or whatever. Like people would do that, and it was like all public voting. I don't know. I didn't look like at last year, so I don't know about last year.
Last year, I saw like a lot of Discords, at least for me, post like, "Hey, vote for our intros because to support them and stuff." But this year, I saw like none of that, which was a really refreshing thing to see. I think people realize that to not make it an issue or whatever.
I've seen rounds advertise the top 100 so people vote in it, but they do not say anything about vote for intro from that run specifically.
I definitely remember like a while ago. I do not remember the rounds. So even if I wanted to, I could not call this person out. But I remember in one of the previous years, I remember someone like straight up being like, "Hey, the top 100 intros coming out. If you want to contribute, go to the number 1, 2, and 3 and put these numbers in for our intros."
God.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
people definitely used to do that a lot, like in the old.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
used to never
rough.
pay attention. I used to never pay attention to top 100. So
Also fair. The other reason I wanted to bring up boosting is because I think there was also a handful of very false accusations in regards to rounds being boosted. Some people had some real hot takes about what they thought was boosted. I do not believe that Campaign 6 was boosted.
yeah, I don't think that was boosted.
I
don't think anything was boosted.
There's a difference between getting boosted and being higher than it should be.
I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Most of them just had recency
Yeah.
bias.
Yeah.
Recency bias, friend groups just like the intro because of some other bias. I don't think it's boosting. I think it's just bias.
Yeah, I guess something I can mention from us knowing all 42 people that voted, but you could separate most of the people in like 4 or 5 different friend groups.
Mm-hmm.
I actually
Interesting.
blackmailed all of them to vote for Addiction 15.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, Chimney is actually like the 100 extra points that it has. It's all Chimney.
Alright, okay, what other intro topics we have here? Okay, this one, it'll be an interesting one. The future of the top 100. So I guess for this one, there's obviously the stuff that I guess Brody can mention.
Yeah.
But also
I mean-
we can contribute about what we feel like could be done
Improvement.
differently.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I'll start with the main stuff I wanted to mention about like the future of the top 100, because the main thing is I don't know if I'll feel like doing that again next year, because it is a lot of work to do. And I've had some discussion with some people that might be interested in doing it. So, stuff could change again. And that's very interesting to see. And that's kind of why. I kind of did that on the list of things to talk about, because I think feedback is what needed the most for this. I think the shortlist proved again that it was good to have it. It's always going to be hard to get something that's going to satisfy everyone, because I know some people weren't the biggest fan of the shortlist, but and like at some point in the process I wasn't too sure about it, but in the end it kind of proved to me that it is the best thing to do for that.
yeah, I think it'd probably be best described as a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely got issues that very valid issues that people have with it, but it's like the alternative is basically just being like, hey, here's a list of like just an absolutely stupid amount of intros. Give a list about these, and it's just gonna make things, I think, worse to have people do that in terms of in terms of how people vote and how many people vote. So
Yeah.
I think that the short list is kind of needed to prevent more issues happening.
Yeah, I
don't
mean, there
know,
must be like hundreds of intros, like maybe over like 1,000. Imagine like trying to watch all of that.
Yeah. I mean, there was like 400 that got nominated, so I think there was like around 100 intros that was removed, so it's around 300 intros to vote on, which is still a lot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
Firm does say that shortlist also kind of does help with potential boosting issues, because it's a lot harder to boost something that is undeserving if you're only voting on intros that are at the minimum sort of deserving.
Yeah, like the main joke from like the last year was like, oh, Comical's gonna be there because of boosting, and then it wasn't there.
It wasn't there at all. Yeah, it's a true point.
But I don't know. I feel like most people don't care as much as they used like in 2016 about boosting. So I don't think it's happening a lot in the first place. But
Yeah.
I think what the top 100 is trying to do at this point is getting people to vote, because if the votes go lower each year, then it becomes harder to get a good list or like something that really represents the community each year.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
I'm a bit of I have a bit of a strong opinion on short lists. I kind of have the opinion that the short list should be even smaller. I
See, I kind of see that, but it makes the vote even harder to do. But like you're kind of right in a way. There was like if I look at the stats, there was 56 intro without a vote, so we could have at least removed 56 other intros and would have caused no problem.
I kind of feel like something like that should be done, where you look at like how an intro has done in previous years, and like if
Yeah.
there's an intro that like, let's say 2 years in a row just straight up gets no votes or like barely any, I think it should just be automatically just disqualified, not put on the short list. Because if it 2 years and if it's like 2 years and in that time it gets voted once, there's like zero reason to keep it around, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did consider a few things like that for since I still had access to the doc from last year and like looking at which intros made it. And there's a few intros I think that was going to be submitted late. And I ended up refusing because those intros didn't get a single vote in the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, maybe it's not worth it.
Yeah, I kind of I think it would benefit from just like taking some of the intros that did like completely like the worst, like 0 votes and stuff, should be just automatically just cut every time. That is my opinion. All right. What? Okay. What?
I kind of agree with what Firm said in chat, where I think stuff back kind of doesn't work because most of the time they don't get in. The thing is, I think stuff back on the list, even if it's kind of like useless and like add more intros to watch, is kind of more like to make people happy because I think with 10 people choosing which intro don't get on the shortlist is kind of can be rough for some intros if they're not that popular or they're kind of like very controversial.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened in 2020, which with what's around Addiction 12, where there's a lot of people that didn't want it and a lot of people that wanted it, and with the way the doc worked for voting in that, it's a kind of intros that's controversial where could easily end up with like a yellow, and the yellows on the votes ended up going into reds because there was too many greens. So there's a kind of example where a lot of controversial intros can fall off easily off the shortlist because of that. So at least we have the option to add them back, and it's only like 10 intros that got added back, so it's not the worst. But then at that point, maybe the list would need to be like even shorter, so there's more stuff added back.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we remove like let's say 60 more intros, and instead we got like 30 more added back instead, then you still like lose on like 40 intros.
Yeah, it's just it's not I don't envy your position one bit. Seems
probably gonna be
nightmarish.
Oh yeah, because you do want to make people happy with like that, because you see a lot of people being disappointed with the one last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to try to do something that maybe more people would be more fine with, and from there go into a direction that seems to be the most popular one.
Two things that I will say with the short list is I think it should have a more diverse group of people, and I think it should be kind of strictly to intro makers.
I don't agree with the intro maker part. It's not because you're an intro maker that
Okay, maybe not
your
the intro maker
opinion
part.
on intros are like more valuable than anything.
I think it should just be different groups. That's the main thing I should say. I agree. It actually shouldn't be just intro makers. I messed up. I think it should be different groups.
I agree with that. I kind of realized that while making the group that maybe it wasn't really like diverse in the people we had, but there was something special with this top 100 where I kind of scheduled it around this podcast, so it could happen. And for that, I needed to have the shortlist done fairly quickly and the voting done fairly quickly. So I kind of was to give still the 2 weeks for the voting. So I think we only had 1 week for the submission, and then I tried to get the shortlist done in a few days. And because of that, I tried to get people that would be very active and would do the voting in time, so I don't have to wait a few days. And so I ended up going with people that I knew is very active in the community, which ended up being almost all the same groups.
Yeah, I think I would say my bad for that one.
I mean, I don't think that caused that much of a problem, because clearly, even if it was mainly the same group, I don't think making the group more unique would have changed that much on the voting. Maybe it would have changed, maybe a little more intros would have gone off the list, or some changes, but I don't think that any intros that made the top 100 would be different if it was a different group of people.
Yeah, I have a feeling nowadays that that at this point, any refinements made to a shortlist probably will not affect the actual top 100 itself, because I don't think not many things are straight up missing from it, and if they're missing, they're usually because they weren't nominated as opposed to being cut. Yeah. But it would, I think, having a more refined shortlist would definitely, I think, help encourage a few more people to vote, just from just an easier load.
I agree. I definitely see that standpoint.
Mm-hmm. So it's always crazy that every year it always comes back around to the shortlist discussion.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
it's controversial.
It is the most controversial edition, but also the one that changed of the top 100 worked the most.
Yeah, it'll never be perfect. It's just something we can keep improving upon and changing different ideas, but it'll never be perfected.
I mean, I think it's all there to try to get as much people interested in voting as possible.
Yeah.
Is that it for like
the
improvement?
Unless there's anything else that can be talked about in regards to changes, I think that's good. What was next then? This one is less about the top 100 itself. It's more that since we have this kind of group of people, it's a good discussion for this, and it's talking about intro making and just in general round production throughout the year, and how it's been for people and how they've experienced as such.
All right.
Which I have zero ability to comment on, since I don't make intros.
You do. I feel like you do, like in just production. Like, we're all either organizer or intro makers, and I feel like we're all affected in different ways by all the production change over the years.
Actually, yeah, you're right. I do organize things. That's true. Allegedly.
So, I got a number. So this year, 2021, I did this from the debut list and added the intros from Lights playlist. There have, between the non-Reddits have been transferred and the Reddit intros, there have been 162 intros in total this year, which is the most out of any year.
That's crazy.
It's a fair number.
Yeah. So I think intro making, there's definitely been a variety of intro makers that come from that list. But at the same time, it does feel restricted, I feel like, because I feel like there are some one-time intro makers who I think should expand upon and also make more intros. I think production this year has been well, and there's a lot of people who are trying to make intros, and I feel like more and more people should start trying to make intros when production is more needed nowadays. So,
yeah, as the community gets on, it tends to be more people will leave who did production stuff than we end up getting people in who do it.
I also think rounds expanding to different or newer intro makers. Like, I personally never thought I would, make an agency or a fission or cinema intro for a while, but me being asked and expanding onto like higher rounds was something that I really think most intro makers or organizers should try doing to give the newer intro makers a shot.
Yeah,
Like-
that's one thing that's been quite nice in recent times. This is
Codwhy
kind of
new intro maker.
It's kind of people. Yeah, in the past you'd kind of be like, if you made intros, you'd kind of be put in a lane in like in terms of like what rounds you ended up making intros for. But I think in the past year or so, maybe a little longer, people have started to be like, no, that's stupid, and just ask like just whoever for intros, as opposed to just being like, well, this person makes some intros, but they're like for like those rounds, not our round.
It's kind of the same for every production. I've seen it go the same way for logos and renders and like everything production related.
Yeah,
Even
that's very true.
Yeah.
One other example of that is Kirby. Where like
Yeah,
Kirby makes non-Reddit intros. Like he just recycles them. They just come out as like every part of it. They just come out. He makes them like every day. He makes so many. Then all of a sudden he just makes an Evo intro out of nowhere.
Yeah, that shit's cool to see. Big fan of that.
It was a good intro as well, by the way.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby's Evo intro was really good, and I'm so glad he got to make an Evo intro. I'm very proud of him.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, kind of like on the outside looking in for production side, I think this is my opinion of it is it is incredibly my opinion, because I think it is. I don't speak for everyone else when I say this, because for me, it's been it's been a bit of a rough year for me, but that's just because people have been doing what they should be doing, which is getting goddamn paid for their work. A lot of people, that's a very contributing thing this year, which has been kind of rough for me, being goddamn broke. But
People are getting paid.
We're
unionizing.
I've heard people getting paid, and they deserve that. But
Yeah, I've been paid for all the renders I made this year, which wait, let me look.
Rodero's making fucking bank.
I have a spreadsheet of renders. I'm at like 40 batch this year. Yeah.
Jeez, that's a lot of money.
And like it really is because in terms of production, more like renders wise, there isn't a lot of active renders maker. I mean, like Nolan made renders for Mythical. That's about it, and Hannah made renders for Casino and
Cinema.
But other than that, all the other ones that runs around renders don't have much of a render maker other than me. Tanner is kind of in and out from time to time, so it depends. And then you have Loaf, and I'm the main one that makes them in a somewhat short amount of time. So I've been like some weeks that I literally have nothing, and then I go have a weekend and I get asked like for 4 different rounds, which is kind of crazy at times.
I can imagine.
Uh,
I guess
yeah,
kind of another thing about people, just more people dipping out of production than coming in.
yeah, basically.
I think that's more like that for renders and intro makers. I actually have seen a lot of intros makers appear this year.
There's been a few, which is nice.
like
But
like
sorry, go
Rocket.
ahead. Yeah, Rocket.
is the main one.
Yeah, Rocket's balling.
Yeah.
Shout
Like his-
to the Dime a Dozen.
Yeah, Dime a Dozen. That's a really insane intro.
Yeah, it's really good.
Of course, you'd say that.
Holy crap.
It's really good.
Yeah, he's totally lying because it's his round.
Mm-hmm. He's being dishonest. He's
You just
deceiving.
cannot blame me for that one. What the fuck?
No,
It just
no, I think I
is
will.
objectively. Yeah, this year was the first year that I've paid for production stuff, which is a bit weird, paying money for Minecraft in 2021. But yeah, I don't
think
know.
it's weird.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't mean. Yeah, I'm glad they paid those people. Don't get me wrong. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that they're
Yeah.
making money off what they're doing.
I'm glad people are too. Like, I will never charge my intros because I just have fun making them, and it's a nice little hobby, and I don't feel the need to get paid for mine. But there are a lot of intro makers that I feel like deserve to get payment, and a lot of render makers who deserve to get payment, and logos and stuff.
On that topic, Cody, you're like on crack. Like this guy, like I don't mean to leak your rant, but when you don't have an intro, you're on your rant like, oh, why don't I have an intro? And then-
Yeah, I'm just.
You're like on crack. You're like addicted to it, dude. It's really.
I'm addicted to intro making. What can I say? I just have fun with it. It's a fun little hobby, and it makes me happy seeing other people happy with it too. So it really helps me a lot.
I was like when I first started it, like ages ago, but like I used to be addicted to editing, like intro making, but now I'm like, I don't know, now I care more about like the end product. Like I want like a really good end product, so sometimes it does have the vibe of like being work for me sometimes. And especially for the Addiction 15 intro, like I'd literally like I was so ambitious with that one. I'd literally like spend hours just like on one little part. Like I'd get mind blocked. I didn't know what to do, like what effect to put, and I'd spend like hours. So like, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
I still have fun with it,
Yeah.
of course.
I know what
With
you
me
mean.
having fun with it, I just want to get better and better. And I feel like the top 100 really motivates me to get better.
Yeah, that's like one thing the one concern I have about the top 100, which thankfully I haven't seen manifest too much, is I haven't seen people get like bummed that they're not on it, or they bummed they rank low or something. But usually I see people are like, okay, this is no, I'm doing this. Next time will be better. Next time I can do better, which is I mean it's definitely way better than being like, oh, I didn't make it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I think I was like in the 80s or 90s last year, and then seeing Serenity 8 be in the 60s was a huge motivator on me. And I also have so many more ideas that came from other people's intros that I'm just excited to explore with this year and next year and whatever I make intros again, like more intros. Each intro helps me get an idea and expand my brain power. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
I think I made 22 intros this year.
Oh,
I would not
Lord.
be able to do that.
Yeah. So
I made 3, I think.
yeah, it's been pretty wild.
yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the last one we have on the discussion board here, I feel like maybe it's something we have already hit, but it's just stuff we want to see more for production, stuff we kind of like want to see more of. I think one trend that I think has started to pick up this year that I think is probably going to end up being quite a predominant thing is reusing stuff.
Yeah.
I think in the past, having unique renders every time and all that shit every time was very highly valued, but this year we started people be like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I don't think we have to do the renders every single time. We can just have a batch and then just use that and get more if needed, which is I think
It's
a
sort
welcome
of
change.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as a render maker, it allows me to actually put more times on the renders because when I make a render and there's like some people that shows up in a lot more rounds and I have no idea why I made a lot of renders because the person okay who do I mention now I guess I made a lot of firm renders. We'll say firm.
Shout out firm.
So yeah.
Condolences.
Yeah, no. There was another person I used to make a lot of renders for, and I made so many renders of them that I started doing anything with their model, and they have some very wacky renders because of that. And so
I don't think at least you won't be making any renders of them anytime soon.
yeah, but some of those people like that, like I'm like, oh, I have to make another wacko flipper render, not again. And
Sorry.
I know that
I
feeling.
played too much.
and yeah, using renders like that just allows me to put more work into them and make them look better, and not have to make so many renders of that same person. But at the same time, I can make them feel more unique by, for example, giving them items. Is the one thing I really like doing. I actually took the time to make my own custom rig for like every single item.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a pretty big project for a month or two, and then like taking every single item, and making them an item that I could use. And I think for those that have seen Calamity, yeah, the most recent one, I actually made completely custom items for that, which is also
Oh.
very cool.
Oh shit. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So honestly, it's something I didn't do that much in the past because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna take a bunch of time. It's gonna be painful, and then it's gonna be show up in the one intro, and then it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's a trend that is manifested this year. It started to like appear this year, but I think next year will probably be a pretty big year for it. Just people being like, yeah, we don't have to just do the same shit over and over again for something that people probably aren't going to be like really notice the difference of. I think people aren't going to go crazy like, yes, it's a different render from last time. I love it. It's, it's just how it be.
Stop insulting my route, dude.
But the other thing I've seen, and that I don't mind seeing more often, and like seeing people go for that, is inconsistent production. In the sense of like, for example, around going for a certain style, but for like one season or something, for whatever reason, where they don't want the production to take forever, they're gonna go for a certain style of the intro. That like would take less time. I think the biggest example with something like that is some rounds having hard and skipping for a render season for one season to either save time, save money, save whatever, but allowing themselves to not wait forever just because of I can't allow it to be like that right now, so I'm gonna wait a year before releasing another season because of that. Kind of a good move. Like for example, Reslika, I think skipped one season with renders, and then came back with art for the final season.
Right. Yeah. Kind of just as a step between.
Yeah, and yeah, Nuclear has pretty much been doing the same thing for S12 that just released. And I've seen other rounds that I can't remember right now, but I know that there's other rounds that did it. And something like I think organizer or less. I think worried about having consistent production in some way.
I think I know Past Glories did a text intro this time around instead of a intro with renders, and I think it's one of the best text intros I've seen. And I feel
that
like
was really cool.
text intros can work. You just gotta put some effort into it.
Jake's Pathfinder one was really cool too.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that one up too. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a good one too. It was simple, kept the theme of like the round, and it really worked well. So
Yeah, let's go to the new meta of renderers, but no text.
no,
that's not. We're good. I feel like the main, I guess you'd say, issue with text only intros is they tend to work like just as well, if not better, than regular intros at being intros. Like they're very good at their job. It's just they don't get remembered very well. And
I think it will work for something like WMC just because you would recognize everyone. But like if you like add a random season one and don't have text, for example, there's maybe some people you wouldn't know who they are. Taking a shot also at people that change skins all the time that you don't even know what's their main skin at this point.
Wizard.
I know like an RR Clash intro this year. I think it was by TJ.
There was one with no text.
There were a few people I couldn't recognize. Like I really recognized most of them, but there are a few that I just didn't recognize, which kind
Was
of
it
made
the tier 2 one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was some people that don't play a lot of rounds that just showed up for that one. So if you don't know what their skin is at this point in time, then you just don't know who they are.
Yeah, I feel like renders no text is just I think just the one of the worst ways you could do that. It's just bad. And then like text only is good for as for the job of an intro. It's just in the long term I feel like people forget about them a little more. And then like if you really want to get remembered, then you kind of have to have both. Or if you want to be considered like one of the best intros, you kind of have to have both, which is unfortunate.
And I feel like there's stuff people are trying to make intros different, Some work better than others, but I'm glad people are trying new ideas and trying to make intros different, even if, like I said, some work better than others this
Yeah,
year.
there's definitely be a lot of trying with unique stuff in intros.
One thing I remember doing. This was a long time ago, so this is not really prevalent to a discussion on modern stuff. But one thing I remember doing a while ago was Phobia 14. We had the main intro, like the actual proper intro, and then we also provided links which were versions of which were shorter intros, which only contained one team. So if you were on that team, then you could use the shorter intro. It would be significantly shorter. It would show off the players of your team, and then it would be that. And I think
did like that.
Like, didn't the Cube used to do that? They had like a long intro, and then like for episode 1, and then for episode 2, they had like a short, like 5-second intro that it just said like the Cube and season whatever.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of YouTube reruns tend to have very shorter. They have like short intros for like subsequent episodes, but usually they're like the Phobium was still like 10-20 seconds long. Those YouTuber ones are like, they're like 5 seconds. They're just like logo done, get into it.
Yeah, it's just like the main intro is just to bring the hype for the season.
Yeah, I think having like a cool big intro and then something, maybe not necessarily very short, because sometimes it might feel like a bit of a, I don't want to speak for intro makers since I'm not one, but it could feel like a bit of a waste if you put effort into like a 1 minute long intro and then everyone's just like, yeah, cool, and they put the 15-second version in.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, but it's not really different than like spending ages on like an intro and then a bunch of people don't use it.
Oh yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
I actually think it would be kind of cool in certain scenarios if they did what you were talking about, but with like a logo or something, and then gave it out to the people to upload. And then the intro maker actually used that time that people are uploading to make like an even cooler intro, and then just use that to like hype up the round.
Oh shit,
I've
that's
kind of thought about doing that with Gateway before, but
shit,
not
that's a
really
cool
done it.
idea.
Gateway 7, let's go.
Yeah.
You just kind of like make like a version of like the intro to the intro.
Yeah. But that's just because I like doing a lot of animations and stuff, and that takes most of the time. So I like to like composite them and kind of like tweak them a little bit every time. I don't know if it would work for every type of intro.
Yeah, that's
I
actually.
think it depends on the round, because I think that's a good idea, but I think some rounds don't need it. Some rounds definitely need it. There's definitely some rounds that are just not able to wait for an intro, because if you made them wait over 2 months, there's gonna have like 5 people that already lost footage.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what roster it is, yeah.
But for something like that, it would inadvertently put a lot of pressure on the intro maker. But you could just, if you had you play the season, and then maybe like 2 or so weeks later, intro maker releases like the really short intro, and then you could like schedule like a release date like a month and a half, 2 months in advance. And it's basically at that point people have that time to upload, and then in that time it's just the intro. That's the intro maker's time to get the actual release intro done. So if people are just uploading using the short one, and then the big long one goes to, as you said, going towards hype. So that also kind of puts a bit more restricted deadlines on the intro maker, because then it is literally just, you must finish at this point, otherwise we have nothing to release with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
actually,
like, I've thought about it because I always feel pressured to do things within like a week or two.
yeah, I mean that's fair.
And
I kind of
would
got
like
to
to
the
have
same
like a
point.
month sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But
The
yeah,
thing
for
with you
sure.
ninjas that, well, like some people are just, someone's just an intro maker, someone just makes renders. You actually make the art and the intros all the time for Gateway.
Yeah,
So it's a
which
bit
makes them
weird.
work really well together for that reason.
Yeah,
I meant it more
kinda
like
just do my own stuff
there's-
anymore. I like
yeah.
to only like ask to do intros. I don't really.
Yeah, the only problem I see with that idea is that people would be like, oh, well, if there's going to be a long intro, I'd rather wait for it. And then there's going to be some of those people that are last minute uploaders, and if the intro maker itself finish the intro very last minute, then it doesn't give a time for that person that's very last minute to upload. Which,
Yeah.
It would have to be like enforced. Like I appreciate it, but just upload on time.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely something that is like, I don't think it would work if just every random round decided like we would reach out to the intro maker like, hey, can you just make this in like, just like, hey, we want you to make this in like 2 weeks, and then like after that you have like a month deadline to make an intro, otherwise we won't release.
Yeah, especially if
it's
you
like-
allied on you on the full thing.
it's something that you should probably do, A, with an intro maker who is like wants to do that, and B, probably an intro maker who's close to the round. Like if you were outsourcing for an intro maker, you probably shouldn't then drop that on them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely a system that could work, but one if every party is like, yes, this is what we want to do.
I mean, I had somewhat of a close situation to that with the Geology Season 10 intro, where when it was recorded in like early August, I knew when I wanted it to release. I wanted it to release for the 3-year anniversary of the round, where the finale would release on that day. So I already knew that it had to be done for like the end of September. So it released like at the end of October and would be fine for everyone to upload, which is pretty much what happened. It pretty much got finished the last day of September. And I did offer to Higgy that if needed, I could just announce the upload date and they upload without the intro, and you have like a little more time to finish the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is always a group of people that want to upload without an intro, so at least you give them the dates and they can either already schedule it without the intro or just upload it unlisted without the intro. Because some people wait for the upload dates before uploading unlisted, which without the intro, which is kind of weird sometimes. But
yeah, that's just what.
I mean, this is maybe people that play a lot of rounds and they're like, oh, if this intro isn't done yet, so I can upload this round before that one, kind of thing.
yeah.
It's gonna seem like I'm doing that for an upcoming round to one of you, by the way, but I've been uploaded for weeks and.
Oh, that's menacing.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah,
I believe Ninja played the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Guys, newcomer Ninja to flip the Switch, guys.
Here we go. Podcast exclusive. You got all the trailers and teasers from last time. This time we got like one player from one round announcement. Huge.
Hey.
It's a win.
Guys, I will say that there is a ghost in the Discord. I won't say who, but there is a ghost.
What the fuck do you mean there's a ghost in the Discord?
There's a ghost in the Flip the Switch Discord.
Oh, I thought you meant in like the Discord we were using to record this, and I was like, should I be worried?
I can make a ghost.
Please do not make a ghost of this. The last time it was terrible when we had Colin here and he was talking about Denny's. I don't want anything like that again.
All right, fair.
It was too much of a gamble.
Well, I think the point of the ghost is that they're in the Discord but don't have perms to see any channel.
Yeah.
I guess you could, but I think the Discord we're using right now has literally 0 perms. Like, I did fuck all with this. I'm not kidding, I created this, and then I sent you guys the invite. I clicked create button, I set a profile picture, I set a picture of the server, and then I was like, yeah, okay, that's all I need.
This is this is our Discord too.
Yeah, it's an exclusive club.
We hang out.
It's the backup.
Technically, you could just create like a private channel in the R Discord and.
Yeah, well. But the main problem with that is then all the admins would have also had access, and some of those I don't trust to not come in and...
Whipple.
Let's see, you do not trust Maxa.
Yeah, I don't trust Maxa one bit. Whipple's going to come and ruin it.
We just talked about Colin talking about Denny's, so...
Yeah. I can hide it from the mods. I can guarantee at least that. Which is
the other
fine.
admin that we did not mention is Gus.
Yes, who also would cause problems.
Jeez, now we're just calling out admins.
Yeah, I mean, I hate my admin team. So.
Calling out every admin.
Yeah. Okay, we kind of tangent off here.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of covered all the topics we want to mention in regards to the top 100 intros. The one topic we haven't mentioned here that I'm kind of going to open the floor to 2 other people in here is we are getting to that time of the year. Most importantly, the bit where 1 year ends and the next year starts, where we got to think about. Yeah. What
are you going with?
We got to start thinking about the awards.
Oh yeah, that's happening next year. I thought you were starting a complete discussion on if rounds should over between years.
I mean, we can have that discussion. Should rounds be allowed? Should rounds be allowed to overlap years? I think not. I think it's disgusting and disgraceful.
If Firma's still here, let's just not have this conversation.
Okay, good point. Good point. Good
I don't
point.
think it matters.
Doesn't matter.
No, it's
No, it
pointless.
doesn't matter.
Wait,
It's
I'm
a joke,
confused what's being meant. Like, only one round's allowed to come out every year?
No. Like, so say your round is coming out December 29th. Episode 1 comes out December 29th, and it ends like January 6th.
I think you just
or year
count it
five.
as, I think you count it as 2021, like whatever the first episode is.
Yeah, I think that's what we all agreed with when we talked about it earlier.
Mhm.
But anyway,
We're not having this conversation.
That's a very
We're not allowed.
controversial thing to have on the podcast.
we're not having this conversation after we just had that conversation.
Yeah. I mean, well, I was gonna
say only one round should come out every year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, the thing I was going to mention was the RR awards, because we are getting to that time period, and there's 2 people in here who did things for that previously. It's the only reason that I fucking keep inviting them to these podcasts.
We're carrying this Discord.
Yeah, I don't know. We thought about it. I thought about it, then I was like, oh yeah, I think that's coming out soon.
I
And
mean,
you guys-
there's a lot of I think feedback from last year that will take over, but I think most of the stuff will stay the same.
Yeah, basically. I think last year was like okay, but there were definitely some problems. Like I think there could have been, like you were saying, about more diverse people for the intro shortlist. I think that could be the same for the because we done that last year with the RR awards. I think we could do
We
that
had
again.
a group to for the tiebreakers and this sort of that.
Yeah, not just the tiebreakers, but also deciding like for like you know how we had to get like an actual render batch for each render maker, and it was deciding like what is a
Oh,
render,
yeah.
what isn't, that kind of thing. Like I think we could have had more people for that for decide those kind of things.
Yeah.
Maybe a bigger group, or maybe just a more diverse group. And yeah, again, it was a more diverse group. You know what I mean?
It was pretty much the same group as the top 100.
It was very
That's
similar.
it.
Yeah.
No, I think the main thing with the top 100 for next year is first it's not gonna take 6 months
Yeah.
or even more.
You mean the RR awards?
Yeah, the awards. And then the second thing is I think it's something we wanted a discussion about it at some point, but some kind of category for best non-Reddit moving to Reddit or something like that. Or
Yeah,
best
it
trend.
definitely feels like something that should be acknowledged this year.
Yeah, because it's pretty important, like a pretty big event that's happened, and I think in that way it kind of supports rounds moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of more rounds that are playing on moving, so
Yeah, it feels like I
supporting
think
the move is good.
I think it's probably something that we could have for this year, maybe next. But maybe it probably wouldn't be something that would stick around in the long term.
It wouldn't stick around in the long term, but I feel like right now it's perfect, especially like I think there's either more non-Reddit than move or around the same amount as one-time / special rounds. So
Yeah, definitely.
if it has a special round category, I feel like you could argue that the non-Reddit one would be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's an important one for this year. But yeah, that's
And you go with the argument of what makes the best transition to Reddit.
yeah, that's gonna be a fun little criteria.
I mean, I think it's pretty simple. Well, I think the main thing I like is any round and move that just did not act like as if they were just releasing any other season. It's the same thing, but there's some rounds that like weighted specials, so like so Reddit or mostly only Reddit players could
Mhm.
know about what the round was before, some kind of way of catching up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be shit that's gonna be happening next year. I guess since we're talking about it, I'll make the plans known. Is basically what the idea we have sort of in mind is likely late January. There's gonna be another podcast, which will be going through the nomination pool, or I guess the final nominations for the awards, and then February maybe March. We'll see how that goes. We will have another podcast which will be going through the actual winners of the awards. As of right now, we're also for those podcasts going to be looking into more teasers, more trailers. Same thing we did for the 2021 year-end review. So that might be something we'll be doing then as well. Maybe for both, maybe for only one of them. Whatever happens. But yeah, awards should be happening next after this, which is exciting.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's pretty hype. It's kind of like the 1 year, like, because I think in 2019 and 2020 kind of were slower, so I think it's kind of giving it a chance to maybe set up some kind of more consistent schedule for the awards if they do happen in future years after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Does anyone have anything else to say? Because I'm thinking we're kind of getting the end here.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly say we're going to try and aim for like February for the our awards to be done. Hopefully, that's off the top of my head though. I know the non-Reddit awards last year. That hasn't aged well because non-Reddit's dead now, but I know they were done by like what, January or something, which is insane.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, like the like stream reveal was like in the first or second week of February. So
Yeah, I think we could get it done like February easily if we start soon.
I mean, the main reason to push it a little bit in like later February is like pushing a little bit of the bias from like December, November rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Because
True.
like January rounds do get forgotten a little bit. Like do you remember Astrology Season 6, which was like the first round? But the second round, do you remember the second round?
I do not.
I actually don't. No.
Alpha
Yeah.
I don't
Fire.
know the second round.
It is Alphabet from Season 5. You're right with that.
I didn't realize that season this year.
But I don't know what the third one was.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Awesome. I think of that then. I think we're actually done with the podcast. Right about the 2 hour mark. How refreshing.
Yeah, it's better than like 6.
It's better than
Bring back the 4 hour for the 4
I'm good, thank you.
All right, guys, we're gonna go through every single intro this year individually. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
do some kind of marathon where you go like through every single round in the global stats.
Oh.
Can't wait to talk about Ender League.
Oh,
Ender League
I
Season
can't
2.
wait to talk about Ender League. I'm going to talk about Ender League all the time. And
I
also,
think you got a gap with the roundtable.
I did get that. I'm pretty chuffed with that. Even though I didn't know Daisy played it until like a week ago or something.
Yeah, you brought back Ender League for that.
Hell yeah. Ender League Season 3 coming soon. Definitely. It's gonna have 90% the different roster, but you know,
Can I play?
no.
Give it up for
He wants that win.
You just want the free win, don't you?
give it
I
up
need
for.
10 wins next year.
I just
Monster.
want to give a shout out to iPhone UHC.
God damn it. Guys, please, best behavior. Best behavior.
Sorry,
I only had to say that once this podcast. How refreshing.
I just had to say it once. I just had to.
Disastrous. Oh yeah, one thing I'll mention. I don't know. Maybe one day I might stream the Global Stats game show. We'll see about it. People seem to love it, and it will might
I
stream.
thought about that trick this stream, so I wouldn't be against it. Like
Yeah.
you make some kind of competition.
Yeah, we'll do a little Global Stats game show on stream sometime.
Yeah,
and we won't invite
yes.
Firm or Julia.
I wouldn't be against watching that. That's actually interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be quite funny. His Firm just said that's fucked in chat. I'm sorry. Did you remember how much you won by when we last did that?
Yeah, you like doubled everyone.
It was double. Third place was like 40, second place was like 65, and you had 120.
8.
128. There we go. It was disgusting.
You're disgusting.
Exactly.
He also was there for the entire time, so.
I guess that is fair. Okay.
I have to say I didn't try for most of the time. So.
Yeah, you were relying on you to make the random guesses, and you weren't going for it.
Oh no! No. What I did is pretty much if someone gets around and they miss the season, I would just buzz in just to try to guess the right season.
Which is a fair strategy. All right, okay.
Points.
All right, well,
All right.
no more dilly dallying about. I think it is time to end the podcast now. It's a nice 2-hour mark. We got a lot of stuff covered. We talked about the top 100. We talked about other meaningless bullshit. And it was
fun.
It was a good time. I just want to give a thank you to the people who attended. Broidator, Wacko, Cody, Chibi, Ninja. Thank you all for being here.
No
Thank
problem.
you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
We had a good conversation.
Again, I'm so sorry.
Thanks to everyone who watched the stream. Stats podcast went. Oh god, no one's gonna watch that.
That implies you invite Firm again.
No,
Shut up, Brad.
no one's gonna watch that. Yeah, thanks everyone who watched the stream. It was a good time. I'm gonna rally off now. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.
Fuck Wacko Flipper.
Bye.
Exactly.